I watched Interstellar for the very first time a couple weeks ago at 3 a.m., and here are all the loopholes and questions I have without doing anything to fact check myself. And don't even think about getting mad about spoilers because you clicked on this video and had at least 10 years to watch the movie. I'll start off with one I heard from Neil deGrasse Tyson because plagiarism. How is repopulating an exoplanet your best choice to deal with a crop blight? It was easier in your mind to fertilize however many thousand human eggs, send them through a wormhole to a distant exoplanet, and start civilization over instead of just finding a cure for a crop killer. You couldn't have just, say, pulled a Joseph early on and harvested a bunch of good crops, kept a lot of seeds, committed widespread arson, and just replanted while eating your saved food. A different world is just easier. And if for some reason that idea can't work, that brings me to question 2. How did you get safe crops on your little space station? I'm assuming a seed bank like the one we have in Antarctica, but again, you just couldn't use those perfectly fine seeds to replant, regrow, and renew life on Earth? Harnessing gravity is what gave you the confidence boost to crack into those banks? Side note, what's with the dust? I don't have the blithest idea. Because the plants are dying from disease, not dust bowl. There's a lot of farmland around that's growing corn, and that corn needs water to grow, so the soil is hydrated. It shouldn't be dusty. Another side note while we're at it, the last field of beans was blight burned in the beginning-ish of the movie, and characters afterwards are only shown eating corn, no meat for the rest of the movie. You mean to tell me that everyone on Earth was eating corn for a good 40 to 50 years? Malnutrition, anyone? Never saw anyone eat on the spaceship, but did they just have corn too? If I was this guy and was stuck on a spaceship with nothing to do but corn for 40 years, nothing to do but eat corn for 40 years, I would have committed intergalactic war crimes. Alright, back to the main story. Why did NASA pick Cooper to lead their crew and spaceship? NASA didn't reach out to him. He kind of just trucked into their secret base, and they're like, hey, you want your dream job? He isn't shown gain any training on how to pilot a spacecraft, and the only thing we know about his piloting prowess is that he must suck because he has PTSD from crashing and actively does not fly anymore. But here he is, the lead pilot of the spacecraft, in charge of a crew of actually trained professionals for a company who should be charging him for breaking and entering. Seems logical. Speaking of logical, let's talk about the ocean planet. First of all, time dilation. You mean to tell me that you know exactly how many years is equal to a minute on the planet, but didn't realize that the researcher would have only had like 8 minutes to deem whether it could be habitable? Obviously, that was enough time because, she died, but they didn't know that and could have saved fuel to at least give her more time. Now, my main problem, gravity. You are right next to a black hole, close enough to strongly alter the flow of time. Gravity shouldn't just be to the center of the planet in that case, but also to the black hole. Don't worry, they cover that with the waves, which are massive because of gravity. But the gravity is still heavier than Earth for the astronauts when they have a freaking black hole pulling up. And we know it's up because it's pulling a wave up at them. Either way, if the waves are truly affected by the black hole, it should be one big wave always peaking towards the black hole, stationary as the planet rotates underneath it. But there's multiple waves. No matter, we'll just pretend that they're tidal waves amplified by the black hole. The water would be pulled toward the wave then, like a tsunami, making it shallow like when the astronauts are first exploring the planet. Then, after the tsunami, it'll have to be deep water. Nope, it's still shallow. Ice planet. I don't have a lot about this one, just why couldn't Matt Damon tell the truth? NASA had already helped him escape one space rock, he didn't think they'd do it again. I get keeping the beacon on so you have some hope of rescue, but then just say, yeah, sorry, didn't want to die. Can I hitch a ride? Instead of completely falsifying the landscape, beating up Cooper, and ranting about the hubris is precious for 3 minutes before ultimately dying from a skill issue. He already gave up to death. The worst Anne Hathaway could have said was no. I'm just going to skip over the whole fourth dimensional time anomaly black hole stuff because I'm not even studying theoretical physics, but I do want to say Cooper is in a time anomaly. He communicates with his 9-year-old daughter from before he left, then does the whole E.T. cameo with Anne Hathaway on the ship from when they leave. By all accounts, he should be backward in time, but no, he gets spat out 120 years in the future. Seems logical. Alright, here's some honorable mentions that probably would have been explained if the movie wasn't already 3 hours long. 1. How did they find Cooper? Last known location was at closest outside of Saturn, and I doubt they have regular police patrols out there. 2. Why did his daughter, who hated him and have a vendetta against him, suddenly decide, oh, that ghost in the wall from when I was a kid is actually Dad, and now I love him again. Yay! This isn't Disney. Wait, smart, independent woman with no mom decides to help the thing that took her father away, eventually releasing her bitterness and breaking a curse. Okay, this probably isn't Disney. Anyways, all that being said, Interstellar is a phenomenal movie. Christopher Nolan is one of my favorite directors, and the soundtrack is 11 out of 10. I listened to it while writing the script, and if Hans Zimmer wants to adopt me before I turn 18, I will happily disown my parents. So yeah, great movie, would recommend.